So, lads, the fucking missus is hackling me for next year WrestleMania. Like, I have a lot of fucking saving up to do with this WrestleMania coming up. Like, lads, you need to help me. You need to give me some advice. What do I do with this? Because I don't know what to fucking do with tickets and all. Tony, you had to give me some advice with tickets.
They clear love holidays. Apparently they're closing down.
I heard. Did you hear about the love holidays? Loads of issues with people over in Spain. It was gas, but I'm looking up a load of fucking stuff for WrestleMania, lads. Like, honest to God, do you think WrestleMania is a good idea to happen next year?
You can put the money away and do it, yeah. Because it's got the strip is you could walk the strips. You're not spending money on taxis. You're not getting in a car every 20 minutes to get somewhere.
Fucking long though, in fairness. But like I went last year and it was long. Like literally, it took an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Alright, no. I'm gonna save you guys about fucking 4 minutes of absolute stupidity. Jamie, what you need to do is go get fucking help. Okay? Talk about all that shit somewhere else. This is Weekly Controversies. Fucking someone roll the fucking intro. Like what? Oh my god.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new edition of Weekly Controversies. I am your host, Daniel Brown, and with my beautiful co-host, Tony O'Connell, Robert Gold, and the beautiful, sexy Scottish bastard, Mark Goldberg. What's the story, lads?
Absolutely buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. Buzzing.
It's good to be back, fellas, after a wee break.
Yeah,
Delighted
that's
to be
it.
back.
2 week
Delighted
break.
to be back airing again on a Monday.
Absolutely.
We're
Now,
here to help you deal with those Monday blues.
Indeed we are.
all feeling them Monday blues. Absolutely. You know, it's Monday is such a shit day of the week, though, and the lads, it's such a shit day. Nothing happens on Monday, other than Monday Night Raw.
And that's why we're here to make your Mondays.
I don't know if you're this side of the globe, it's Tuesday morning, Raw.
No, that is true. Yeah, if you're on the other side of the globe, you are on the Tuesday morning, and if you are watching from Australia, hell yeah. So, lads, 2 weeks. Jesus Christ, felt like 2 years. It's been a good while. It's actually dragged on the 2 week break. And how's everyone feeling? Is everyone gathering a bit of dust on the old podcast absence?
To be honest, I feel a bit jet lagged. That's how it feels
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
You know, it just feels as if like you've been on holiday for that long and you've just had that instead of 2 day break. It seems as if it's just lasted that long, and it feels longer. But as I say, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad we're back because we are the Weekly Controversies.
Jesus Christ, I think our absence lasted longer than any Kim Kardashian fucking marriage. But anyway,
yeah, it's good. It's good to be back. I wanted to call out as well. The first episode that aired since we took that break. Tony interviewing Ty Claude. Tony did a smashing job. Watched it. I'm sure everyone loved it. I seen that it's our most popular video on YouTube as well.
You predicted it and it happened.
Exactly.
I love how Martin's taking all the credit. I love it because it's on his channel. And it's like it's controversial.
I know.
Chats. And he called it Weekly Controversies.
He was like
well,
FiveMarks controversial chats, and I'm like, you fucking what now?
Did you not notice how Ty Claude literally called it Weekly Controversies on the start of the video? He actually thought, yeah. So in a way,
to do with that Weekly Controversies, controversial chat.
Well, he's doing a Vince McMahon and trying to change the names to get himself over, but we move on. Looking forward to more things like that in the future as well. I thought it was really good to get ourselves on the map a little bit, and Lana Banana, we're still after you.
Well, she's followed the page. She watches along, so the ball is now in her court, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's my fault in fairness. It is my fault because it's something that I brought up, which at the time was very touchy, in the whole world of Wrestle Talk, which is still a platform which has its good and has its bad sides, but Yeah, Lana Banana, the invite is still there. If she is watching any clip or anything got to do with Weekly Controversy, she is still welcome. You know, we could talk about everything got to do with Wrestle Talk and even wrestling as well, and even our trips. Because, as I said, you know, before the show, lads, WrestleMania 41, which is something that me and my girlfriend are looking to go to next year. Seeing what I've seen and looking up, it's gonna probably be the most expensive WrestleMania of all time. So it's gonna be tricky. It's good for me and the missus to go over.
Yeah, because even whenever you take into consideration what you could actually potentially spend over there on top of that as well, it just makes it that more awkward to try and sort of budget for, especially if you've got other things going on that week as well on top of that. It's just going to be quite tight. Unless, like, I mean, it's even for myself, because thinking about it, I mean, I might even have to sell myself somewhere and that.
Fuck's sake, Rob.
Listen, I could sell any organs in the black market, and then that'll get us funded for WrestleMania next year. Honest to God. Yeah, listen, this is a Weekly Controversy for a reason. We can go down that route. If I have to do it to see The Rock's retirement or The Rock versus Roman, I'll fucking do it. You know what I mean? Because I'm not missing out on that opportunity. Once in a lifetime match. Absolutely not missing out.
And better WrestleMania 40, and that's a Weekly Controversy you can take away from that.
Yeah, literally. But no, but like, just touching on just kind of trips in WrestleMania, and me going hopefully will be a reality, because it will be my first WrestleMania since 2019. And then I was going to say it to Tony, like, what was your process on buying user tickets? Because I'm looking roughly on how much I'm wanting to spend for tickets, but I've seen that loads of people are giving out about how much the deposit is for WrestleMania 41, and it's quite
on packages.
Deposits.
Is that on the on location packages though? Is that what the deposits are?
Yeah, that's on the on location. Yeah,
that's the only thing I haven't priced is on location. I have prices from Wrestle Tours, prices from Cassidy. I did a prices from another company whose name I will no longer be mentioning because I can get myself into trouble.
Hey, that's another company as well I have looked at, and I have looked at the prices, and they are good, but some people are having problems with Love Holidays. Yes, Love Holidays, that's them. And it's funny, some of the stories, but they seem reasonable though. They seem reasonable prices, but I don't know if that's going to lead me on. So,
but people have used them and got them and used them successfully, but given everything that's gone on, you don't want to book something and arrive out to Vegas and be told, you haven't got a booking here.
Yeah, no, that's true.
See, I didn't have an issue when I went
over last year.
You did, you went over last year for a few days. Even then, that few days you went over where there was nothing on. It was still expensive.
No, true. But I was going to say, what was your process for the tickets like? Because you sat in two different sections, didn't you, for WrestleMania 40?
Yeah, so we weren't in a great ballpark when we got them, because we were going to start doing it in July last year. And then we said, nah, we'll do something else. And then in January, nothing had been planned for that. And else we're like, fuck it, we'll go to Mania. And it was just, by the time we got tickets and hotels out of the way, we'd fuck all spend the money.
No, of course. But like, you was only booked it a few months before you went, didn't you? So, I mean,
we finished booking it about, it was fully paid off before spending money about 2 weeks before we flew.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, so it's not really giving you much chance to sort of save for anything other than.
Well, that's because we weren't doing it, and then I just thought we all decided that the brilliant idea. Our 3 months is a lot of time. It's not.
No,
it really isn't.
Like, that's why I'm literally doing it. Like, I'm saving up at the moment, and that's why I'm giving myself time to get everything else sorted, because I want to get WrestleMania tickets, but then I want to get the flights and the hotel. But if I can get them sorted, I think everything else then is just a bonus. You just have to spend it.
Yeah, no, definitely, because it's the same like every time. It's like, I mean, like I know myself. If I'm doing it, I still have to get a passport. Would have to get sort of tickets, flights, accommodation, all of that type of thing and stuff. And once you get the bigger things out of the way, then you're flying. Because it's once you've got those out of the way and you're paying for that, or even if you're having to pay part of that, and then you're still saving on top of that for saving money, you'll be sweet. It'll be sweet.
Yeah, but you even see what you fucking pay in ringside. Like, I remember seeing the price chart, and it was 10 grand for like the first 3 rows for just one night. So that's 20 grand for one person to pay for 2 nights of WrestleMania. Like that's unheard of. Like you'd want to be meeting the fucking wrestlers for that sort of money.
Yeah, you'd want to be in an actual WrestleMania match for that sort of money.
Yeah, but Mark, just to even say it to you, have you ever thought about going over to America for like a big event like WrestleMania, or were you always just rather sit at home on that kind of fans, just rather sit at home and enjoy it there?
It would be a dream. My reason I've never really done it is the money. Like you say, I've never thought that's a justifiable way to spend my money, and then goes and spends what 400 or 500 quid on going home to Glasgow for a weekend. I think I would have probably been really tempted to do a WrestleMania, especially Vegas. But I think I'm feeling quite blessed by the fact that we've had opportunities to see big shows in the UK. And even if they didn't do the UK, I would have been tempted to do Berlin if it weren't for Clash. I'd have been tempted to do Lyon if it weren't for Clash. Plus, having done All In last year, knowing you guys are there too this year, I was on the fence about even doing All In this year until I found out you guys were going, and I'll probably be there just to see you, if even if the card itself is not exactly exciting.
We're all gone for Daniel Bryan's retirement.
Yeah, I feel like I'll be ending up doing that. So my itch for live wrestling has been scratched, with those shows. But I think it's one of those. It's like next level. It's for me would be once in a lifetime to go to a WrestleMania. Vegas is kinda tempting, but I think I probably can't justify it having done Clash, having done All In once, and probably gonna do All In again. I just bought myself a flat, so it's a bit like, okay, gonna be a bit more careful with my
Yeah, of
cash for a
course.
wee bit. But yeah, it's a dream. Hey, if I win the lottery, I'll get us all tickets to go. Imagine going to Vegas.
Come on, as wrestling fans, we've all said that. We've all said if we ever win the lotto, we'll do the big 4 pay-per-views. We've all said that at one stage in our
Yeah.
lives.
You guys have been to Vegas as well before, haven't you?
Jamie
I have,
has,
yeah,
I
and
haven't.
like it's an amazing city. I've been to Vegas. It's an amazing city, and it's so much you could do. It is the capital entertainment of the world. Like literally, it is what it is. The bright lights, the shows, everything you have in Vegas is in Vegas. And the clubs, the bars, whatever you're into, everything is there in Vegas. And it is like for someone who is a solo traveler and who is now in a new relationship that wants to go next year with the other half, it is the fact that it's going to be a different perspective now to go over with her. And we're going to be doing more of what is, the WrestleMania week and, doing stuff and it's, all wrestling stuff and blah, blah, blah. But we're also going to make it a holiday because she's never been to the States before. Like I've told her everything about Vegas and she got all excited about it. So she's really intrigued on wanting to go. And it's kind of like we're both like looking at the dates, we're looking at like new information got to do with it and stuff, and it gets me excited. But then it's the fact of money. It's the fact of money, and even now, and I'm not gonna lie, I look at the Clash of the Castle tickets, and the Glasgow flights are still cheap. I want to go, I really do, because it's just it's just so expensive to do everything now. It's so expensive, and you can't just think you have the money and then go. You have to plan it out, and that's what's the beauty of doing the plan of WrestleMania now until like April next year. But with something like, let's say for example, Berlin is coming up in August. If I was to wanted to do that, it's going to cost me probably what I'd pay for Vegas anyway. So I might as well go to WrestleMania. So it just wouldn't be really worth doing, because the expensive, like the European shows are expensive as WrestleManias.
They're expensive because they do them in smaller venues, so they charge more for the seats.
Yeah.
And they're saying Clash will be the probably the most the highest ticket gate they've got, and obviously that was Lyon.
But it can't be because they haven't fucking sold out.
Yeah, even then the prices they're
Highest
running.
ticket gate, crack SmackDown and Clash haven't sold out. They're off
I
that
guess-
high horse, man.
As a question for you guys, how far in advance would you book a show? Do you guys wait until it's kind of clear who maybe will be main eventing? Do you just be like, no, they're doing a show, I'll take my chances. It's going to be
Do you
good.
know what?
You need to book.
You're right.
You need to book
So
them
for me-
months in advance.
Right,
With
yeah,
All
have to
In
book
last
months
year, I booked, I think in like June. And we decided, obviously it's in August, I booked the June, but I hadn't really watched AEW. And it was more of a, oh, I think I'll just go because I'll get into it afterwards. And the card I got was brilliant. And then I started watching, this was the Adam Cole and MJF friendship, brochacho kind of thing. And it hooked you in. But I don't know how I would have felt if I'd seen that card beforehand and been like, okay, do you want to pay for this to go? So yeah, what are your thoughts? Is it a
Right.
match or is it just the
So
occasion?
for me, right? So when it was 2023 and we watched the LA WrestleMania, I remember Tony and everyone asking me if I want to go to Philly, and it's important. We've always discussed it. It's important about the location where it's in, and I just thought Philly's not really somewhere it excites me or anything. And I was just thinking that I thought at the time they might have done a Rollins versus Roman, and Roman wins again, and blah blah blah, and everything. But I think from when not Roman, when Cody won the Royal Rumble, and when The Rock came back, and then when I seen the advertisement for WrestleMania 41, not only was Roman, The Rock, Rollins, Cody, all of them advertised, but John Cena was also advertised. And it just got me thinking about the amount of possibilities of a John Cena retirement run and The Rock versus Cody, or even The Rock versus Roman Reigns, the Bloodline Civil War, all of these different things that is going to possibly happen at next year's Mania. And the fact as well, it's on my birthday. So it's like, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity, And not only that, I'm going to bring someone in who's never been to not only a WrestleMania but never been to the States before. So that's going to be a whole new experience. I'm going to, be experiencing with somebody. So I mean, that to me is what sold it. You know what I mean? But it's always important about the location. And when I heard it was in Vegas, I was like, I can't pass up the opportunity to go back to Vegas.
Yeah, that's cool.
I
Fair dude. Go on, Rob.
No, because I think is just to touch on what Jamie was saying there, because obviously with Clash being booked, so soon compared to previous sort of PLEs that they've done, with regarding trying to fit this in so quickly, and I think that's what's hurt them this time around. Come with obviously with having not all the tickets being sold for the event, whereas you look at the likes of last year's Money in the Bank went on sale. You're talking 6-7 months in advance. The same with with Clash of the Castle the year before. Again, went on sale like the previous kind of like September, October time for it coming around again. And I think when they plan it like that, it's better for us as fans, because then we can sort of kind of start saving up. But whereas if they're not sort of booking from February to March, and all of a sudden, bang, you get a message drop in. We've got this PLE just announced here for Glasgow in like 3-4 months time, and you're like, how can someone save up so quickly, especially if you're on a low income job, trying to make ends meet along with trying to maybe get a ticket on top of that, and you just simply can't. Whereas if with 6 months plan, you could maybe planned it a lot better. But that's just my take on booking it so late on compared to what they would normally plan it.
But I don't think they'll be going back to Glasgow if they can't sell it out.
All right, just you wait. The crowd was the loudest crowd they've ever had, and I was there, right? Don't worry, they'll be back. But anyway, guys, I want to take you on a slightly different topic of discussion, right?
Yeah.
We're about 6 months in to the year. It's our first podcast, the four of us back together. And I haven't given you any prep. Therefore, this is going to be quite fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Halfway through the year, I want to know I'm going to ask you 3 questions, kind of go round the grounds.
Okay.
For this 6 months that we've had so far, so from January to where we are today in June, I want to know your standout wrestler of the year, your standout match of the year, and your moment of the year so far, right? That's 3 questions. You do have a little bit of a chance to think. But I thought it'd be quite good, seeing as we're halfway through the year, we can kind of go back to this in 6 months' time and see things change, and maybe think about how things might develop, who might be the wrestler of the next 6 months. But it's been a pretty strong year for wrestling. I mean, WWE itself has been on fire, obviously, till WrestleMania, and they've kind of tried to keep things going in a different way with these, what we say, glorified house shows in local venues or different venues to get the crowd popping, and a bit of filler in there, but the crowd has kept things alive. AEW is starting to grow a little bit again to the point where people are buying tickets for All In. And we've had some brilliant matches as well. So, does anyone want to give me their wrestler of the year so far first? It could be any promotion, right? You guys could totally throw in your OTT stuff at me if you really want. I mean,
We
if you say
could. No,
if you say
we
Ty Claude, I think it's totally fair enough because he would be mine after last week.
no. I think we could, right? We could go the OTT route, but I feel like, and I think the lads would agree. I think after the Rumble, it hasn't really been strong, and you look at probably the Sammy and BQ stuff, and you might think that's the only interesting thing that's going on because we knew Trent's role was going to be stale. He only has defended it once, I think, so far, and since winning it. So I mean, literally, it hasn't really been strong since the Rumble. And if you look at even OTT, it is really more of the younger lads, and it's not even like even OTT. It's really like the younger lads what they're doing at Hard Knocks and stuff, what Keane Newton had done with Sammy and that great match and all that he had. So, I mean, you might look at probably him, and to me, he's probably being someone who's up his game over the last couple of months. Absolutely, it's definitely might not have won a lot of matches, but he has definitely hung with the best of Irish wrestling. And yeah, absolutely, he's definitely in the Irish scene the most probably watchable, improved wrestler. In terms of just pro wrestling, I mean, I don't know, because I could easily say The Rock, because for him turning heel and what they did with the whole story with WrestleMania 40, that was the only way they could have done it, and they perfected it to a T. Like literally, I still can't think, I can't get away the thought of the build for that Mania, because I'm always going back to the promos, I'm going back to the tag team match, I'm going back to the Cody winning the WWE title, which I think is my moment of the year so far. It's Cody, finally finishing the story. But I think, yeah, he's a
Spoiler
actor.
alert.
He's not a current wrestler, but I just think what the Rock done for the build in the tag team match and then also the night after, I think he's the best wrestler of 2024. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Cody fan. I know him and Cody are having a feud, but you can't deny what the Rock did. Just literally turned into another level, absolutely. So I'll go with The Rock.
I like that. You're giving everyone a chance to think as well, based on your sort of royal ramble on OTT. The Rock's a good shout because he did, totally change his character. He gladly gave Cody that chance, although he still looked strong in going over on night one. He gave a pretty amazing moment, well, I'll get to a wee bit later on. But The Rock, not who I expected to pop up for rest of the year, but good, strong candidate,
Now,
Jamie.
you might see some people are going to really think, well, Will Ospreay, because he changed the AEW and he's the fucking champ. They literally have pumped this guy with everything so early in his AEW run, and I don't like it. I don't like how the way he's booked. I really don't. Like, the guy is not even in the company that long, and not only is he a champion, but he's also getting a World Heavyweight title shot.
Who's not a champion in AEW? Anyway, Tony, do you have have you had long enough to think? I know I put you guys completely in the spot there. I had that one in my back pocket though.
We should add that as a segment and call it On the Spot.
I usually put two into the fucking same sentence.
Tony, you got your wrestler of the year
6 months in
so far.
We're 6 months in. It hasn't been the craziest of years so far. But if I picked one person that stood out, that was head and shoulders above the rest, and that is someone I want to watch every week, so I want to see what they do next. Chad Gable.
Yes. Oh, great pick.
Mr. Chad Gable.
Great pick.
Really
His heel turn has been nothing short of amazing. The way they're hyping up out when it was turned and slaps the taste out of Chad's mouth, that pop is going to be nothing short of electric. That's how well Chad has built up to Otis for this turn. We know what's coming. We don't know when it's coming, but we know it's coming. Everyone else is out here waiting for that IC title win. I'm like, nah. We need to get that Otis turn first.
Yeah,
Chad Gable. I think Chad Gable has had a hell of a year so far.
Unbelievable 6 months for Chad.
His downs. is the way he pretended to help Sammy, and then when Sammy got what he didn't, he turned on him as quick as he could. It's just been it's proved what I said. Chad Gable is it.
Chad Gable's had an amazing
everyone,
6 months because he's also managed to. I mean, I like how you've pointed to the fact that everyone's talking about the Intercontinental, but you're right. Chad, that I genuinely believe that that's how it was written. It was written for Chad to eventually, finally win the Intercontinental, but he's been that good that he has got Otis over again. Otis being a laughing stock after the Money in the Bank briefcase and the worm and everything. He was only in the Alpha Academy because of a bit of a joke figure.
Yeah.
Chad Gable has got Otis over, and that's a really strong shout.
And if you really want me to point out how good of a character he is, he hasn't just got Otis over. The Ninja is gone. Akira Tozawa is back as a near enough serious wrestler again.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Gable has got someone that's been sitting in the catering for 2 years over. It's how good Chad Gable is. Like, we know before that IC title win comes, he's to get over one obstacle, and that obstacle is his final boss. It's Otis.
Yeah.
I don't know when that's going to come, but when it comes, it's going to hit like crack.
Huge shout.
But
And to be honest,
but right now, Chad Gable is my wrestler of the year.
I would not be surprised if Chad Gable had a astonishing 6 months to follow as well. I think that puts a really nice pin in where we're at so far, but he can go quite far forward in the next 6 months as well. This is just the beginning of it, but the work he's put in, what he did with Sammy, the turn, everything's been pretty exceptional. Yeah, solid shout, Tony. Rob, you've had a chance to think.
I have, and this has been. It's actually it's a lot harder than I thought picking just one, because there's been quite a few that have came under the radar, and that which have some have gone kind of like a miss for some people, but this one for me, I think deserves a big shout. And some may agree, some may disagree with this, and that's why we're controversial about it. And I am actually going to say for Superstar of the Year so far is the Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax.
Fuck you.
Can we kick him off this podcast?
Fuck's sake.
Do you know something?
Rob, go away.
Do you know
Rob,
something?
did you watch that match?
Just go away. She nearly killed that Irish girl.
She nearly killed her own Irish woman. She nearly killed her own Irish woman. Even Yokozuna didn't botch his bonsai drop that much.
she sold it that well. She made the people thought that she was dead. That's how well she sold it.
Oh, poor Chet.
There's only blue lights outside your gap tonight because he will be dead.
Rob, I absolutely love that answer because
I hate that answer.
This is why
he wants to stand out from the crowd. That's what that answer is.
He's got a very thoughtful reason behind it. You guys are literally why Rob has decided that Nia Jax is the wrestler of the year so far. Firstly, it's a female. Well done for that. Secondly, you guys are all haters. She has had a good 6 months. She has deserved it. Rob, I love that shout.
And do you know what? Like I said, the hardest bit of this was
6 months.
The hardest thing for this one was, as I say, it was actually between Nia Jax, Lyra Valkyria, and obviously the Ring's General Gunther, because I think to be honest, he's actually had an incredible 3 to 4 years himself, and not just 6 months, but he's had an incredible couple of years. But my shout definitely has to go to Nia Jax from her return to basically, okay, yes, she may have failed at Elimination Chamber against Rhea Ripley. That's fine. We knew that was going to happen, but we also knew that she was going to become the Queen of the Ring, and it was just inevitable that was going to happen because Nia Jax is the inevitable force to be reckoned with in the WWE.
Yeah, I like that. It's well thought out as well, and she's had her moment. She finally has her moment. Okay, seeing as I'm kind of running this segment, I don't know if I should throw in mine as well.
Go, give me your thoughts. Come on, give me your thoughts.
You'll throw
Mark,
yours
what
in.
is your
Go
thought?
to the match of the year for everyone.
So my non-Drew McIntyre of the year is.
Yeah, you're done.
I mean,
You're world heavyweight champion.
In all seriousness, Tony made the point. Who does he want to see? What does what this person does next, etc. Who does he tune in to see where it's going? Drew McIntyre's been that guy for me. Like every
really
single
good.
week, I have been interested in what's he going to say, not just on the microphone, on Twitter. And Scottish people can be quite funny. He's got some good patter on him, but like I'm actively interested in his Twitter feed and refreshing it, which is fun. He's been great on the mic. He's been far more himself, and he just seems quite loose with it. No shit taken, that sort of stuff. There's something about Drew. He's entertaining. He's a great promo. He's great in the ring. He's got an amazing finish. The fact that he's this heel, but really we believe everything he's saying and we actually kind of agree with most of what he's saying. He has been my wrestler of the year so far. And it's a cop out because it's an easy one for me. That I like all your shouts, but Drew, I'm not just saying it because he's a fellow handsome bastard from Glasgow. He's the reason that I've been so in tune and continually watching week on week to the point where like I watch SmackDown highlights right now, but I will make sure I watch Raw. And that's kind of changed from the last year. They're building up a lot of guys. I think in the next 6 months, maybe people will talk. Maybe Solo Sikoa could be there. People might talk Logan Paul's in a great 6 months, etc. But SmackDown, I watch a bit less of. Drew's my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout at all.
No, Phil has been
Yeah.
head and shoulders above the rest of the last 6 months.
Just glad you guys are able to praise him now for once, right? But anyway, that's
I've met Phil.
our.
Phil's a solid bloke.
He's a good guy. Yeah, but that was our wrestlers of the year for the first 6 months. We have obviously had. Well, should we discuss match of the year and then go moments
Yeah.
last?
Yeah.
Match of the
Well, I
year.
already done my moment, so I can do match of the
But
year.
we'll call it potential match of the year and potential wrestler of the year because who knows,
Yeah,
isn't it? 6 months down the line when we're doing our little awards ceremony, it might be a different take.
Match of the year so far. Okay. Does anyone need time to think? Because
No.
again,
I don't. I can jump in here with 100% honesty.
Yeah,
I think most people should agree with this. If they don't, then I don't know what they are watching. But so far, for me, the match of the year for 2024 is the WrestleMania 40 main event, Roman versus Cody, because it was a cinematic masterpiece. It had fucking everything. You couldn't look left or right to see what was coming because you couldn't see it coming. That's how far outfield everything was in that match. It was just a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it was.
it was a sad, for some of us, it was a sad masterpiece. For others, it was a happy masterpiece, but it was a masterpiece nonetheless. From the entrances to the match to the finish, had it everything, had it all.
It was a masterpiece that turned so many Roman fans into Cody fans that night.
Yeah.
So it did.
I don't know.
And that person's plan worked because now all the Cody fans are Roman fans.
I think that is one of like the obvious. People are maybe talking about that as like one of the matches of all time. It had everything. It had absolutely everything. The crowd behind it, the moments.
Yeah, I have one. In fairness, I totally get his answer for the WrestleMania 40 main event of night 2 anyway. But if you really think about it, we know that match for, as you said, the cinematic whole what happened and all during the match. But if you think about it, 20 minutes into the match, it was good. It was a good match, don't get me wrong. And a lot of people say, well, it wasn't a 5-star match, and I totally get that. But I think a match that was unbelievable, but not only that, it was unbelievable for the in-ring talent of the two wrestlers, but the whole atmosphere for it. And you need that in wrestling, and you don't get that in the States. You only get it in Europe. And I'm talking about Leon Backlash, AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed title, because the atmosphere for that is something I've never seen before in WWE. Like literally, and it should have more I wish I was there for someone who's like, a big AJ Styles fan. the appreciation that man got, I know he wanted to just punch the air, scream. I knew he, wanted to do that. But he had to stay in character. And fair play to AJ, because if that was me, I would go out of character. I'd literally soak up the atmosphere, because that is just unbelievable, the appreciation. But not only that, was also the appreciation for Cody Rhodes and the music team. But other than that, everything they did in that match was from offense, defense to building up the match as it went along. It was a slow build, but turned out to just be a wrestling clinic between two of like the best wrestlers in the company. For someone who people want to retire and he's not what he used to be, AJ Styles can still go. He can still wrestle the best of best in the likes of Cody Rhodes, who is in the prime at the moment. He can still hang with anybody, AJ, and he impresses everybody every single week, especially with now what he's doing with the whole fake retirement thing, which I think was amazing, reference to Mark Henry against Cena. But just to build that, like, they're going to, do with this rivalry is so exciting. And, like, it is, like, AJ is the MVP, but it all started from that match at Backlash, and it was just a wrestling clinic. It was so old-fashioned. They told a great story for what it was. And it wasn't even that long of a build either. It was only, like, I think, a week or two.
Yeah,
but
2 weeks, yeah.
That was, like, probably about 4 weeks of build, the way that match was going on. So that, to me, was match of the year. And I still can't get over the atmosphere for that match. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with Jamie. With like, if you were just going like wrestling alone, with the atmosphere, that would be the match that would stand out to everybody, especially the way that Backlash was that night. It was unbelievable. But for my match of the year, I'd say I would agree with Tony now, only because it's like more so with the cinematic, plus with the, obviously the end of the match between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Championship. And I think with everything, because there was so much involvement throughout the 2 years, not just the match itself, but the build up from that moment until that bell officially rung when Cody had pinned Roman at 3. Like, you could feel the emotion, even watching it, on TV or watching it on WWE or whatever it was. To watch it on that and still feel the emotion compared to what you would have done if you were live at the show, and still have that connection with that, shows how much of a build and how good it was. The fact that The Rock done what he did to twist it back, where, okay, yes, your Cody Crybaby's got your match in the end, but that was probably his plan all along anyway. Yes, he'll want the match with Roman, there's no question about that, and that will happen. But this, for WrestleMania 40, had to be the match that it was. And it was. There's no doubt about it. Yes, obviously the Cody Rhodes AJ Styles match was a phenomenal match, but this had everything that you could ask in a wrestling match with the build that it had. And that's why, to me, that match was match of the year.
So I had 3 matches in mind here. I thought 100% AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes would come up. I'm glad it did, because it was brilliant and the crowd elevated it. It was an amazing, 30-minute watch considering the build, and you never believed that the result was in danger, but you just enjoyed the ride for what it was. The cinema that was the main event of WrestleMania 40, incredible. And in fact, so much so it's come up twice. People would maybe say that one of the, possibly the best match of all time. Maybe not for in-ring quality, but it does give a bit about our taste here. We get a bit about the cinematic style and the nostalgia. We get a bit about, the in-ring action and the crowd, which we got with Backlash. I'm going to give an honorable mention, then I'm going to give mine. Honorable mention I have is a match I really, really enjoyed, but for the finish, and that was in Saudi. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga versus Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I loved that match. I loved how they started that match chaotically. The street fight it just went in the exact right direction and hooked me completely. The finish is why that match is not really there for me. It doesn't break my top 3. Maybe that's my 4th. Just because it was a bit botchy and a bit funny with the referee. It was
Did
entertaining.
you say in Saudi actually? Sorry, did you say in Saudi? Did you not mean Backlash?
Do
Yeah,
I?
that was.
You said
Backlash, yeah.
Saudi, yeah. I was like thinking we watched
Yeah,
it.
because Saudi was the king and queen of the ring tournament. The Bloodline were only
Yeah,
on
it's
SmackDown.
Backlash that tag team match was the street fight.
You got me. Yeah,
Sorry, I
that's.
was wondering. I was like Saudi.
Well, I'm glad
Yeah,
you're
it was. It
paying
was
attention.
the match that kicked off Backlash.
Yes.
Yeah, but great pick by the way.
Martin,
Great pick.
edit that out, right? But that's my
No,
that's
no, unbelievable pick though.
it's why it's an honorable mention. Okay,
Hold on a
it's
second. You're
why.
going to tell people to edit stuff. That is not your job.
Hey, I'm a host now. I'm a host now. All right. I think. I don't know. I can never tell with you guys. I feel like it's just an invite only.
Listen,
Anyway,
at this point, they're not a guest, though. I mean, if you're not a guest,
I haven't pissed you off that much yet. That's my honorable mention. Backlash's opening match, as I just said, I think the finish kind of lets it down, but it was a really strong start. But my match that I am going to put forward, based on the fact you guys have taken my other 2, again, just to go full circle on the taste of wrestling that we all have, it's bringing us to AEW Dynasty, and it is Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay. Not massive on that style of wrestling, I must be honest. I'm not a Okada Omega kind of guy. I'm not a blockbuster hour-long Iron Man match kind of guy. This one just about held my attention enough, and how could it not? It was amazing. It had one of the best psycho knee spots I've ever seen. One of the best spots in a match I've ever seen. Edge of my seats kind of stuff. Really great in-ring match. Crowd was totally behind it. Dream match. Okay, it didn't have much of a build, but with 2 people like that facing off, you don't need so much of a build. But I wanted to throw some love to AEW because we bash it quite rightly so for the full year that it's had. But in terms of first 6 months, top 3 matches I think we've got covered there. That Dynasty match has gotta be mentioned if we're mentioning Backlash.
Like you speak about honorable mentions, and this you brought me back to WrestleMania again because I'm actually quite surprised it wasn't even an honorable mention with you, Mark. And you talk about matches that are like a half an hour long and they do be great, and there are also matches that are slow at the start as well, but then they get great when it comes up to rhythm. But I'm pretty surprised that you didn't mention, and this is actually an honorable mention on my behalf. I claimed this match to be the greatest opener in WrestleMania history, and it's with your boy Drew versus Seth Rollins for the world title. Because you remember the Claymore heard across the world. That 4th Claymore he hit, literally not even 2 seconds into the match, he Claymore Rollins. Everyone was jumping out of their seat. I didn't expect it. No one in the stadium, including Tony and the lads, didn't expect it. It was a real holy fuck moment. It was so unbelievable. And then as well, with Rollins, who was carrying an injury at the time, for him to still wrestle, I think it would have been about 10, 12 minutes that match. For what they did, and for, of course, the outcome with Drew winning and, the Money in the Bank, which we won't get into. But for the match overall, for what they did, them 2 guys, it might have been a sort of Brock Lesnar type match. It was a lot of finishers and stuff, but some of the near falls as well was crazy because you didn't know when the match was going to end. It might have been 12 minutes, but it felt like 22 minutes. So I give kudos to that match.
Yeah.
Huge honorable mention. I just didn't want to mention Drew again, but it was in my mind. It was in my mind.
Because this is the thing, it's quality over quantity sometimes in wrestling. So you can have a 12-minute match and it's the quality of the match. But then you might have a match that is like a half an hour to 40 minutes and it's crap and then you're bored,
Yeah.
There's some matches like that. There's just some matches that it might be different minutes into the matches, but it's all about the quality of it. And the quality that Rollins and Drew did was the best match them 2 ever put on. And they've had like 20-minute matches on Raw before, and they weren't really that memorable. But that at WrestleMania was so memorable.
It was fantastic. Yeah. In fact, the Claymore could have been my moment.
Drew literally tweeted during the match. I've never seen that before. He tweeted during the match.
He still got it pinned as well to his Twitter, which is unbelievable considering the way that it went. Great honorable mention as well. Does anyone have any other honorable mentions, or should we move on to our moment of the year thus far?
Do you know what? actually, just to even discuss this now, I actually think for the women's division, I was really impressed when I watched it last night because I couldn't watch it on Sunday. The Roxanne Perez versus Jordan Grace match for the NXT Women's Championship. Now we know, there's a new, kind of crossover now with TNA and NXT, which gets us all excited as wrestling fans because no in our wildest dreams, probably 10, 15 years ago, that TNA would ever be affiliating themselves with WWE and then vice versa. To see Jordan Grace come out in NXT and be the challenger for Roxanne Perez's title was so exciting. I actually probably popped more for that for when she actually debuted in the Royal Rumble because we knew we were getting a forbidden door properly open this time. And it's not going to be the last time we see TNA wrestlers in NXT. But for that match, we know Jordan Grace for years, Tony. She is someone who started off young, like Roxanne, and she was very impressive. She was a powerhouse wrestler, and you look at her shape now, and she's got into her incredible shape now, and she's got a lot of experience. But I was fearing this match to kind of be more on the Jordan side of things, where she gets more of the offense, and then she's so powerful, and then I thought she was going to get put over. But what Roxanne Perez, for not only the heel turn and then winning against Lyra, but the run she's had with the belt and the heel that she's become, she's done a great job with it. But it became so apparent in that match on Sunday, and even ripping off. I don't know if anyone noticed it while watching the match. I think she actually ripped off her rear ring, and there was a lot of blood that came out. I mean, that takes some balls, that for a heel, for someone to do that, it takes a lot of balls, and Roxanne Perez did that, and she definitely, put up one of our probably best performances in her career and got probably our most important win of her career against Jordan Grace. So I'll get that honorable mention.
Yeah, worth throwing some highlights to the women's division as well. They have actually had quite the 6 months themselves.
If I give an honorable mentions, then I have to give the ladder match that kicked off the NXT Battleground honorable mention. That NXT North American Women's ladder match was a fucking banger.
Yeah.
It was a banger. The spots, the way it went, the back and forth. And I disagree with Jamie because Kalini Jordan was my pick to win.
No,
it was written in the stars.
Name? Sol Ruka?
Sol Ruka.
Sol Ruka, I thought she was going to win.
The only thing that match was missing was a soul crusher off the top of the ladder. I thought it was coming. There was spots where I thought it was coming. No, I think Kalini winning it made the most sense. So I gone with the underdog victory, I think. I think that's why they gave it to her. I don't think it'd be a long reign, but she'll always be the first. But I had to give that an honorable mention because it was an absolute banger. And I hope Last Legends waves are okay.
Yeah.
Because that was a nasty spot.
All right. Moment of the year. Jamie has given us the biggie, the one we've been waiting for a while. Do you have any more to say on Cody's title win?
I just think a lot of people have downgraded it so soon. And this is the thing. He's done what he has done. What is being pumped in front of Cody. And people have moaned and said that it's, he's boring and he's not really the greatest fucking champion. Roman should come back and take it back off him and all. But listen, he can only do what he can do. He's built strongly to defend his title and win every single time until there's a real threat. Someone probably like a Randy Orton or The Rock or something like that. They're the real threats to me. What Cody's getting fed now is what they feel like is best for Cody. And they've done Styles, they've done Logan, and we don't know now what they're going to do at Money in the Bank, And it's like, there's so many different things they could do with Cody, but Cody can only do what he can do. And I think the outcome of him winning at WrestleMania will come good, but just people need to be patient about it. And that's all I can say on that, Mark.
I mean, at the time, if we're talking moments, is there really one bigger than that? It's something that people, unless you were that against Cody in the first place, everybody wanted to see Cody eventually win. It even managed to flip Tony from being a Bloodline follower.
I still follow the Bloodline loyally. Knock a Solo had his finger to be fucked right now and he's threatening to kill me.
Rob, go on. Have you got a moment of the year?
I have indeed. I would say this could be
If
controversial,
he
but
says
that's
Nia Jax is going and I'm walking off screen.
Do you know what? I haven't thought about that, but that's why I put her as my wrestler of the year. But this moment, this would be this is a preview to what it was about. CM Punk costing Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. For me, was one of the biggest moments of the year. You think about the fact that Drew McIntyre had that WrestleMania moment for all of 5 to 6 minutes, and all of a sudden taken away because CM Punk had got jealous and Damian Priest done the rest. And it's going to lead to what's going to be coming for the next couple of months, a CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feud, which I cannot wait to see unfold in front of our very eyes.
Well, they say, I dream broken dreams. CM Punk made them come true on that particular moment. Not very happy that you picked that one, but yeah, you got to admit it was a good moment. The crowd popped hard, and who doesn't love a Money in the Bank title cash in? Just wish it maybe didn't happen at that point. But hey, I still saw Drew lift the title. I'm okay with that. That was fine. Guys, am I an AEW mark?
Well, you are, Mark. So yeah.
Hey!
Possibly. I just realized before I go into mine, Tony, let's hear from you.
I was gonna reference that last match, but I'm not now because it's being referenced twice. So I'm gonna bring your backup plan into play. You always have to have a plan B, as Triple H will tell you. But I think my plan B is actually plan A because weighing on the scale, it's up there more. My moment of the year so far has to be Sammy dethroning Gunther at WrestleMania and winning the Intercontinental title. Because I don't think anybody thought it was going to happen until it happened. Like, we all thought Gunther was walking in and retaining and walking out. He walked in, didn't walk out. The underdog in Philadelphia put the giant down and won the IC title. I think
Yeah.
that has to be the moment of the year so far.
Huge moment. And one of the, like, you got to say is a massive compliment to Gunther as well. Just because, like, how many people actually, what is it they call it? When you go down, you put somebody else over, but like to elevate yourself. He actually managed to do so much with the IC belt that he took the fall and is on the up. Like, that was a necessary passing of the torch for him to actually go higher, rather than, not only did it give Sammy his moment and make it be like, okay, finally Sami Zayn, he's done it. He's won that singles title he's deserved for quite some time, but it also still made Gunther like free of the shackles of the mid card. To now we can believe him, and we'll be seeing it at SummerSlam. He will be in the main event. He'll be challenging for likely the world title. So it's pretty huge. That was a big moment as well, and not one that anyone predicted. I don't think, except for Jamie at the time when he mentioned on the preview pod.
What? Sammy said?
Yeah.
No, I think I said Gunther was going to win that.
As soon as I remember, for some reason, I recall you, as soon as you saw his family and Kevin Owens, you're like, fuck, he's winning. Just
He gave me
beforehand.
that vibe.
Yeah.
No, I think I said, no, do you know what it was? I said Gunther was going to win in the preview, but it was the review.
The review,
And
you're
it
like,
was the
change your
fact
mind.
of when they had the match and then it was the whole family and Kevin Owens. I was like, yeah, he's winning. And like, I was just like, oh, I don't get me wrong, I like Sammy. I just think with the way I would have booked it, I would have probably had Sammy win the Money in the Bank, but then he still could win the Money in the Bank. It's still a possibility. But I mean, yeah, I just didn't know it was going to be him that was going to dethrone Gunther. I probably would have picked somebody else. But I mean, it was a brilliant moment. And in fairness, him being the IC champion and with the Tag Gable stuff, it's been great on Raw. So I mean, it's probably the best outcome, for what's going on at the moment.
He's many people's pick to win Money in the Bank. Sammy.
I did at the start though. I just thought like Sammy hasn't won a world title, and he's been IC champion. I don't think he's been the United States. I think he's only been like a tag team and an IC champion. And I just thought like him winning the Money in the Bank would be good. Do you know what I mean? It would be interesting, you know, just to see what they could do, because there's so many possibilities they could do with him. But with I don't know now. See, it could be Finn. You know, with the whole Judgment Day thing, it could be him. You don't know with the Money in the Bank, because that's literally the next pay-per-view now. And
I get
there
why
hasn't
Sammy's
really
the
been.
favourite.
I actually
it's
don't
in
know.
Canada.
I could go on the bookies actually. I
Yeah.
don't know why I would go on, but the bookies do have bookmarks on the favourites to win the Money in the Bank. And I remember checking last time. I think LA Knight was the favourite. So
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sammy's the favourite. It's
Yeah.
only because it's in Canada. But surely Sammy's defending his title in Canada and not going to be lost in the shuffle with 6 other men.
I would take anyone. If I think if Sammy's in Money in the Bank, he wins. But I would take anyone as long as it's not Jey Uso.
I have me 2 picks for
that's
the
the
Money
only
in the Bank,
Money in the
and
Bank
Jey
fight,
Uso's
I
not
think.
there.
Thank God. Before we get on to that, my moment of the year, and I asked this earlier, I asked if I was an AEW mark. Because you guys pick all the WWE ones, I'm trying to think slightly outside the box. Now, depending on when you watch this, perhaps something that happened on Saturday night may be my moment of the year, or it might be my most hated moment of the year. You'll find out next week, I guess. However, one thing that is for sure, AEW deserves a little bit more love. It's going to hopefully have a strong next 6 months. And much of the reason I believe that to be the case is because my scumbag is back. And I think the return of Maxwell Jacob Friedman was huge for AEW, for the fans, for me watching, for Twitter, for memes, for you name it. That moment could potentially prolong AEW in terms of its viewership for that little bit longer. Now, I know that the last 6 months, possible, really, the decline of AEW since all the injuries and when MJF and Adam Cole had this terrible feud over the mask, the devil, it's dropped a little bit. If anything's going to bring it back in time for All In, it's MJF. I'm delighted to see him back. The crowd pop was huge. The promo was outstanding. And yeah, he's cutting the bullshit. No more kangaroo kicks. And he, like Drew, is the reason that I would tune into Dynamite just to hear him speak and to see what he does next. To the point, actually, I had nothing to do the other night. Very sad that I am outing myself as a complete dork. But I ended up watching the AEW YouTube playlist of the feud between CM Punk and MJF for like 2 hours. Just watched all the segments they had, and it is fucking unbelievable. So, more of that, please. More MJF. That could be one of the top feuds, by the way, of the last 10, 20 years. But yeah, I'm delighted to see him back, and I just loved the moment. Love when he came out. It was huge.
You could see though, like MGF coming back it was huge. I actually think he's going to come back at Forbidden Door because it's in Long Island. It's where he's from. But him coming back at Dublin Nothing was a great opportunity for him to come out and confront Adam Cole, because even though I know they're going to do the match possibly at All In again, so we're going to have this match between two, but I mean, it's still exciting to see MJF back, and you can see the whole. He's actually kind of rubbing it in the face of WWE with the whole jackets and resembling of Triple H and everything like that. And it is funny. It is the most MJF thing you'll ever see, But the scumbag is back, and he has literally gotten AEW interesting again, and that's the actual star power he has, because AEW, like, even though it's trying its best with the Young Bucks and everything like that, I just think MJF coming back has made it more fresh and more interesting. And the amount of possibilities they could do. Because you said it, he's done with the bullshit. He's back to an MJF where he is still loved by the fans, but he is still going to be the sniveling, snaky, horrible scumbag that he actually is. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does in the second one, in AEW.
Thoughts on that tattoo, though?
Do you reckon that's real? Do you reckon it's real?
I reckon it could be covered up nice and easily with the WWE logo, which, to be honest, I mean, yes, it's my moment of the year, but I am a bit gutted. I know WWE don't exactly need him, but my God, he just belongs there eventually.
Oh, when
I'm a
that Netflix
huge
deal
MGM fan.
hits, he will go there. He will eventually go there. When that Netflix deal hits, oh my days.
I'm not
And plus, the
convinced that we're
last
going to get
person
the
to use
Cole
Triple H's
matchup.
name in vain ended up in WWE.
This is true. The reference of the of the attire, the Triple H return attire was spot on.
One person referenced the chair, did I rip or throwing, and one person references the tire from his old tour return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just like listening to what what on earth is he going to say next? I'm pretty sure he mentioned what he talks Vince McMahon, he drops
Oh.
names in here and there. He just doesn't have a filter. And that's entertaining. It's like the Rock level, like in terms of the things he just pushes the boundaries. And that's worth watching. That's entertaining. I don't think we'll get Cole versus MJF. I think they're going to put a pin in it, to be honest. I don't think they're actually bothered about giving us that. And I don't think the fans really care for it anyway. I think they jumped the
You'd be
shark on that.
surprised with Tony. You'd be surprised with him.
Well, that's the only maybe issue we have. But okay, there's our moments, our matches, and
Yeah.
our wrestlers of the first 6 months of the year.
Yeah. But see, when you talked about MGF coming back to AEW and officially signing a new contract of some sort, but we don't know if that's confirmed. But I mean, according to the tattoo, it is. But let's discuss about the recent, news about Ricochet leaving WWE, and then him possibly jumping ship to AEW, and kind of what would you make of his run in WWE from NXT when he got signed in 2018 to now? Like, other than his NXT stuff, do you reckon it's just being very lackluster?
It's a hard one to call because we know how good he is in the ring. We know that. When it comes to promos, not 100% great on them, but he does what he does. We know how he operates. He is an absolute next level athlete. There's no question about that. We've obviously seen the stuff that he's done before. Before when he came to NXT, we knew how good he was. When it came to in ring, and I think that's one of the reasons probably why he wasn't pushed to the way he was as such. And being, I say, given this, the speed championship and stuff like that there, I think was almost a bit of a kick in the teeth because yes, we knew how good he is. And yes, he deserved probably to have a belt, but I mean, to go that low to give him that kind of a belt. I mean, yes, it's a WWE belt, it's a championship, but at the same time, it's a new one. It's not going to make anyone really relevant as such in a sense. But as I say,
He should have. He should have had a US title run. He should have had a better feud with the people he put in against, not just being used as someone to step over and move on to the next part of that person's story.
100%. Because I remember back in the a couple of years ago, whenever it was the Intercontinental Champion, and that before Gunther decided to take it on, and that and he had cracking matches, even say on live shows where he had a triple threat match in London at the O2 with Sami Zayn and Butch at the time, and it was a cracking match. And he always put I've never seen him once put a bad match on, and that's a compliment to Ricochet in the ring, what he can do. But like I say, it's just the promo levels, and that is, I think that's what's probably kind of almost let him down in a sense, because he's not really built for that side of it. But the wrestling side of it, not a problem at all.
He didn't have the charisma. It was just like he is unbelievably good in the ring. Even in his indie days, from when he was in even OTT, he has had some unbelievable matches. We remember the fucking viral match with Will Ospreay, and we remember Prince Puma, which he was literally my favorite in Lucha Underground as Prince Puma. Like, that was when I first discovered him, was Jesus Christ, who is this guy? And then I connected to him, and it was Ricochet. But he was unbelievable in Lucha Underground. But he was that type of wrestler. He showed how good he was in the ring, and then that's what sold it for him, was to be signed by WWE. And then he did get used right. He wasn't really in like memorable fucking promo battles or anything like that. He was just in these gimmick matches that with our amazing wrestlers, and yeah, he had a good North American run, but it didn't really last that long. And then eventually lost to Gargano. But when he got moved to the main roster, Vince just didn't know how to use him other than just being a flippy guy. That's literally all it was. Like Vince is not really known for being the type who puts on flippy matches and stuff like that. He was fairly more ground based on big guys and putting on matches to wrestlers who have aura and stuff. And you might look at Ricochet and go, he doesn't have an aura, but he can still do some unbelievably good things in the ring. And I felt like if it wasn't Vince at that time running the main roster and it was Triple H, I don't think we'd have this discussion, because just Triple H knew what to do with Ricochet at the time, but he just lost that control when he got called up to the main roster. But with now Triple H being under, the main roster management and creating for stuff like that, I think it's too little too late to build up a Ricochet, for the simple fact that there's newer superstars in the roster that they are looking to build on for the next couple of years, and Ricochet is just an afterthought. So for him, he's just thinking, well, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm clearly not in anyone's plans for the foreseeable future. So I think I might go elsewhere and, make money elsewhere. And I wouldn't blame him. But I just think when he does go to AEW and has these matches again with Will Ospreay and whoever he has these matches with, that's all it's going to be known for. It's just the unbelievable matches.
Yeah, and I think that, that is the thing. It's like, it's almost in a question to, what do you do with Ricochet in that sense of it? Even if he does go to AEW, he's going to have these cracking matches, there's no question about it. But that's all he's going to be really known for. He's not going to be known for a recognized championship, with run or anything like that. It's just going to be known for 4-star, 5-star matches with whoever it's going to be, because we know how good he is, and most of the ones he's going to be up against are going to be that kind of caliber of athlete as well.
But you think about it though as well, Rob. He ain't going to AEW jumping into the fucking main event slot. He's literally just going to be in, and it's like, oh, remember him and Will Ospreay had matches in New Japan, and then look at these dream matches with for like Adam Cole probably again. They might revisit that, or then they might have Rush, or they might have so many other superstars they're gonna have dream matches with. But then that's all it is really. He'll be just kind of a mid-card champion, and then that they won't see him as being a valuable asset to AEW.
No,
and just having flippy matches.
No, and that's the thing. It's like it's like you're going from one company who doesn't really know what they're going to do with you, going to another company who again isn't going to really build you up better. So people are saying, does he really need to go to AEW to do that? Could he not go to TNA, and that where he could be, say, a world champion there potentially?
Yeah, but I just think though, you even know yourself, Rob, and like he's not going to be a mid-card champion in WWE now. He's not. He's not going to be the focal point of that division. He ain't going to be someone you put as a mid-card champion and it's going to have a brilliant run with it. You have other guys who can do that, and look what they're doing with Braun Breaker, what they've done on, Raw last week. They are literally looking at other superstars to build as main card champions, so that Ricochet. So Ricochet's like, well, if I'm not going to be a main guy in a sort of slot in wrestling, there's no point in me being here. He's going to do an AEW where they'll know for a fact, give him about probably 2 or 3 months, he'll be the fucking international champion or something, he'll be the point of that sort of card in AEW.
Don't know, he'll be lost in the shuffle. I think there's too
Is
many
he a lock for
like
AEW, or is this just all hearsay?
I think there's no other way. I don't see him going to TNA. He won't make enough money there. Tony will give him the bad paycheck to go to WWE or to TNA because he's a former WWE guy, because that's the most Tony Khan thing you can ever think of. Oh, someone from WWE's leaving, I might as well sign them up.
Yeah, and
he might do a run of the Indies though.
Yeah.
Well,
I still think he still will do Indies. He will probably go and do Japan because of the connection and stuff, and he will still.
Look how well Matt Cardona has worked on the Indies after he got released.
Yeah, the Indie God. You know what I
mean? The Indies seem to work better for some wrestlers than going to another big show and getting lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one big question that sort of suffices from the whole Ricochet thing as well. What will happen with Samantha Irvin as well? On top of that, will she go with Ricochet or will she?
I don't think that's even a big deal. I think she'll just keep her job.
Samantha Irvin's going to stay, but she'd be a big loss if she left.
Yeah. will be a big loss, but I don't think she's gonna go. I think she's under contract. She's not gonna go for the sake of her boyfriend. Like, she's making money there. Just leave her there. Let Ricochet do what he wants to do. If they want to moan about, they don't really see each other all the time because he's leaving and stuff, surely we're seeing each other all the time in the same company. Just because he's doing other things, that shouldn't really mean that. He's about making money. So that's the way I see it.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Because I mean, you look at the likes of, as I say, like, you know, Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green, for example. You know, obviously, do you know what I mean? So they're the prime example there. Plus, as I say, you know, it would have been interesting to see Pat McAfee doing more ring announcing than that. You know, because he done a hell.
He's not trained though. It's funny, but he's just not trying to be.
No, do you know what? I would take that just away. I mean, can you imagine, like, all the time, like, you know, every Monday and come Clash of the Castle, he's announcing Drew McIntyre's that sexy Scottish bastard challenging for the title. I would love that. You would love to hear those words coming out of Pat McAfee's mouth come Saturday if he was there.
I mean, if Samantha, if she did really live, if Samantha Irvin did really live, I mean, Mike Rowland, he's not really great. I don't really see him as it gets me excited for an announcement. But I mean, if they were to go and get someone, like, there's nothing wrong with Bruce Buffer from UFC. I mean, he's unbelievable. He hypes up so many UFC shows. I mean, if he was to come into WWE and do even the pay-per-views, I mean, that guy can really make a match feel important. You know, even if it comes to a stupid, like, exhibition, you know, fight in UFC, he makes it that hype, he makes it that important just from his intros. Like, he's unbelievable. I'd love to see him in WWE because we've seen this brother Michael. I'd love to see Bruce.
And don't forget, Dennis Murphy's always available as well.
Yeah, no, that is true. But it should be interesting to see what Ricochet does. But I just think he's going to AEW. There's no other ways about it, I think. No. But yeah, lads. Any other discussions? Anything else that anyone wants to talk about?
There is one thing, and I think it's a very big conversation starter, especially among at least the four of us and other wrestling fans. And that's a particular piece of merch that was on sale last weekend during Clash of the Castle. One which I think was the biggest fuck up since the Cody Rhodes flag t-shirts. They have a Rangers Clash jersey, but they didn't have a Hoops Clash jersey.
The Celtic jersey.
Disagree.
That was gas.
What an amazing decision. An incredible PR move. Inside the sea to my ear that you see on that side. That is the
What do you mean great PR decision?
The Lion Rampant. That is the Rangers center crest.
That's what it is.
The color that we have here is red. The text is white. And see those two wee equal signs? That's blue. Clash of the Castle's official t-shirt is modelled red, white and blue and looks very similar to this year's Rangers home shirt. Which I may or may not...
Stop it! Stop it! You're embarrassing yourself.
I may or may not own. However...
You and I both know having that thing on sale in the same city as two of the biggest hooligan clubs is the stupidest thing ever.
It's funny.
That's like coming to Dublin, doing a Dublin show, and the show jersey has the fucking righteous red hat of Ulster on it.
That's why the Kings of the North always got booted OTT shows down in Dublin.
You leave DP alone.
A penny for the thoughts.
I don't know if Mark can have this in the camera, but I just want to show the proof to the pudding. So, see here, Celtic on top. Use that second. I'm sorry, but yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Jamie. That's so last year.
A few weeks ago, you want it?
That's so last year. Listen, the Clash of the Castle shirt. It's actually £5 more expensive than the latest Rangers jersey. Anyway, the latest Rangers jersey is going for 75 quid. The Clash of the Castle official Rangers shirt is going for 80 quid. I may or may not have bought it. Just saying.
Did you actually buy it?
You're the only one that did.
I might.
Oh, mate.
To be fair,
Mad.
one thing about Clash, I mean, they've got the gonna be they've got the not press conference, the kickoff. They've got the pop-up store. So, yeah, I'm maybe in money saving mode, but come on, what an opportunity! Drew has clearly spoken to the right people in marketing. Drew's a big Rangers fan. And he's probably done something to that, and maybe his pals in Gallus could learn a bit about that. Gallus walking about in their Celtic shirts, the bumblebee.
I just love Tony's
I know.
reactions.
Gallus
This
isn't
is
happy
great.
about the t-shirt.
Yeah, Gallus are not happy at all. Maybe they'll ask for the release. What a shame.
Yes, boy.
He won't be missed. Oi. Yeah, like, you know what? Actually, can I actually just be out straight right with the WE merch? And like, everyone remembers back in the day, there'd be like merch that everyone would want to grab their hands on, and literally be like, "Yes, I want to get that." That's like literally the most popular thing. What do you think about it nowadays? Because I look at the Euro shop kind of on a daily, and I'm like, it's not really there I'd want to buy. Not there that pulls out to me and going, "Oh yeah, I really need to buy that t-shirt." I have to wear
It hasn't been great at the moment. Like, there was a few retro things that are cool to grab, but the new stuff that they released for the wrestlers that are there now that are active hasn't been great.
No, it hasn't. Like, I've seen the CM Punk retro stuff, but there's like, it's like when I see Liverpool release a retro jersey without the sponsor and the, Reebok or Adidas, and it's like, it's just not the same. Like, it's literally just a remastered t-shirt. It's just rather the original, like from when they first released it back in, let's say, the CM Punk, the best in the world. Like, I wish I was like back in 2011 and I, grabbed that from the Euro shop instead of buying the remastered one now. That's just the way I feel. I just think the merch, like, and as I said to you as well, even before the intros, lads, I even was like thinking about going to Mania, but then it's like, what do I wear? Do you know what I mean? What shorts do I wear? And it's like, I don't know, like, because for one, I don't know who's going to be on night one and night two, but not only that, it's like, what will be nice to wear? So I'm just very conflicted about what I could possibly wear to fucking, Mania or even wrestling shows nowadays.
I do think the merch, much like theme music, has taken a massive generic drop. I don't think that like the merch is as cool as it used to be. I think that t-shirts are almost like overcrowded now. You think about the classic NWO, the classic Austin 316 t-shirts. Like, these were pretty minimalistic and cool, just like quite slick. And I think you look these days, they put so much on a t-shirt. Probably have Cena to blame for that, because the amount that, well, not Cena personally, but the whole buzz around Cena and changing his t-shirt all the time to have new slogans, and he had to get a new slogan on the back of the shirt, a different color, and there's just so much going on. Even like the word "yeet," right, on that t-shirt, it's so big. Like, everything's just, don't know. I don't think I'm a big t-shirt guy when it comes to merch.
Yeah, it's I've always been one for a t-shirt, but I even remember back in the day, like whenever I was younger and buying, like, whenever you had to buy, like, you could buy like the Rock's elbow pads and the sunglasses and things like that, where there was stuff that was different other than, like it's a t-shirt, baseball
Jeff
cap.
Hardy's glove thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. Like, even like back in the day when you had Santino Morella's sort of, Cobra and things like that, where you
remember the Italian badge shirt? Oh, what a t-shirt.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many different bits of memorabilia that you can think of that, that you could have bought, back then, and what they could have brought out now compared to then. It's just like, you look at even like, the mini belts that they do for each event, how quickly they go. Like, as soon as they're on sale, it's like bang, they're away, because so many people keep buying them, putting them on sale on the either eBay or whatever it happens to be for triple the price, and you're like, you can't even get a chance.
Well, they're missing a trick, not selling Drew kilts.
It's a shame.
I don't know if anyone other than the Scots would buy them, so I don't know if it's a very marketable piece of merch.
That's like in Bachelor Berlin, they're gonna sell lederhosens in fucking the superstore. Literally, that's what happened.
Steins with Gunter's face on
it. Literally, and the Van Austria, same fucking country as Hitler. Anyway,
I think the merch guys could do a bit of work.
Fuck's sake, Kale.
I mean, there's one Austrian that's gonna be overtaking Germany that month.
Rob, I think that's your cue.
It's not 1945 anymore.
Rob, I think that's your cue.
Well,
Oh, stop.
Just before you go, all this bashing of Scotland. And you know me, I'm not exactly, I don't really care about Scotland. I live in England, for fuck's sake. But am I right in saying that the Euros are underway as well? And where are your lads?
You can get fucked. You are finishing bottom of that group. You are literally finishing bottom. All this, oh, we don't well in qualifying, we nearly bet Spain away, we bet Norway and all that. No, you're finishing bottom. You're gonna go packing. Literally, give us a weekend to go.
And that's when I say I'm a Brit, not a Scot.
He's British. He is British when they win, but he's a Scot when they lose.
All right, just like Andy Murray.
Exactly.
Can I just say, right? Well done for getting Clash of the Castle, yeah? Well done. Fair play to us, right? Well done, Wales, Cardiff, for getting Clash of the Castle. Well done. 2025. We're all the fucking PLE, WWE. Bring it to Dublin. We're all the PL fucking E. We were robbed of a fucking takeover UK. A Gunther versus Finn Balor for the United Kingdom Championship in Dublin, which is so fucking weird to say.
Yeah.
And it got cancelled because of COVID. Where the fuck is our PLE? I don't care if we get cancelled. Paul Levesque, Triple H, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, come to Dublin, Ireland. The Aviva Stadium holds 50-odd thousand people. You can fill that place. You can fill that place. We are all a PLE. I don't want to go over to the United Kingdom for fucking PLEs. Come to the best country in the world. Come to the Republic of Ireland, where the best fans in the world are.
Sure. Look at the football. You had the Europa League final at the Aviva as well. There, do you know what I mean? So why not bring a PLE to Dublin, Jimmy?
Exactly,
you know what? You've hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? See, even if it happened to be some sort of like UK, whatever takeover it was, and that was just stupid or whatever, whoever planned that. But I think a PLE in Dublin is what Dublin City deserves.
Can you imagine? No, just listen, right? You hear Scotland, right? And don't get me wrong, Scotland is like the brother of Ireland. It's literally a great country, great people. It's literally so similar to Ireland. But can you imagine, right? If it was Finn Balor in the main event against Cody, can you imagine all round the fields of Anton Roy? Oh, Tanya, the goosebumps for that will be immense. Would be immense. It'd be so much better than what Scotland was done and what Wales have done. I'm sorry, but I will back my country and its people. I will back it for the fans we are.
Keep on dreaming, because
we are gonna get it. We are all the fucking pay-per-view. PLE, whatever you want to call it.
The only show in town was this weekend.
All Mark is missing is a cigar right there. It's like, yeah, that's all we're missing.
He's there bragging, and they still haven't sold out. Don't forget it.
Still time.
Than them lot.
Still time. Come on, boys. Take it over, Rob.
Listen, I'm gonna do the outro now for the end of this episode. It's great to be back. It's been a long 2 weeks, but you know what? We are looking forward to new episodes. Happening what?
Oh, Rob is doing the outro.
No, can I do the outro?
Go ahead. Go.
But we've got a new outro line.
What's the new outro line?
At least let Rob say that.
Oh, I mean, Rob, before we do the intro, can I please do something for this?
Yes. Yeah, go for it.
Right. Please, for the love of holy, right? Martin, anyone, please put this clip out, because I am the one who puts out our sort of thing for stuff, right? Banana, right? Anything, right? So, please, Paul Levesque, consider coming to Ireland. We are owed a PLE. You will not regret the piss and rain that will happen on the July of 2025. Please come to the Aviva Stadium. You won't regret it. And I'm begging. Please. Thank you. Rob, do the outro.
And on that note, I have been the golden one, Rob Gold. This has been the controversial one, Tony, as always. And we've been joined by our more than a regular guest, I would imagine, Mr. not so much Bill Goldberg, but Mr. Goldberg himself, and our beautiful, sexy bastard from Dublin, Ireland, which is Jay O'Brien.
The handsome one.
The handsome one, he's called himself. He's the self-proclaimed handsome one. That's what he's called.
Yes, that is my tagline. The handsome one.
The handsome one. There we go. That's the handsome one, Jay O'Brien. He has to have his mirrors all over the place now for this one. So,
boy in the big cartel.
And this has been the Weekly Controversies. We are back bigger than ever. We are back. New day, Monday, 6 p.m. is when we go out on the FiveMarks YouTube channel and wherever you get your Weekly Controversies podcast. This is us from the